are you guys doing today? Welcome back to the Midnight Cinema. It's your boy Midnight, leader of Team Alpha Wolf Squadron. I'm here today just to talk to you about The Quick and the Dead. It's a movie I watched this weekend. Actually, I watched a bunch this weekend. Just feeling, just feeling the movies this weekend. Doctor Strange was great. We'll talk about that later this week. I believe I'm gonna see it again Wednesday. And on Wednesday, I will discuss full on my thoughts over it. I believe that sometimes you can process the movie a little bit more after the second viewing. And that's something that I want to kind of put into practice now. Do a quick rewatch so I can, really absorb it all after the first time. If the chance is there. Sometimes schedules get messed up, but yeah. So this weekend I actually watched a few westerns. Since apparently maybe I've mentioned this before, but look, I love westerns. Go to the Multiverse of Geekdom channel where I co-host with Ben Rayner, and we just discussed like Logan and how much we love Logan. So, The Quick and the Dead. All right. The reason I selected this is, Sam Raimi's name has been floating around a lot lately. Why? Because he's directing Doctor Strange 2. And he's also the director of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man movies. He gave us those. So, also did The Evil Dead is one of his horror movies. Our Army of Darkness is another one. So I wanted to see just something else that had Raimi's touch on it. And apparently he did a western, and it's called The Quick and the Dead. Now, The Quick and the Dead stars Sharon Stone, Gene Hackman, Russell Crowe, Kevin Conway, Leonardo DiCaprio. Why is his name Keith David? I was like, why is his name eluding me? But yes, there's plenty. Even Mark Boone Jr. From Sons of Anarchy plays Bobby. All right, and so this movie was a very interesting western, and it's about this female gunslinger who's pretty much on a quest through the West to find the man who killed her father and avenge his death. But there's a twist, and it's so good. Uh, I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed it a lot. The characters were very very humorous, and I think Raimi really does well with the comedic factors of how all of them were interacting, which was great. Um, he especially the interactions between Gene Hackman and Russell Crowe. I love the dialogue that he set up here. It's very oh shoot, excuse me. Hold on, guys. 1 second. Allergies are acting up. Give me one. I'll be quite honest, because of my laptop that might not be out of the editing room, so feel free to laugh all you want to. But yes, the dialogue is definitely very Western style. It has a lot of the smart aleck wisecracks, the sarcasm's there, the slapstick humor is there. Gene Hackman is a very good villain. He plays the mayor of the town. The town's known as Redemption, and the way he rules everything and controls everything, his hands are in everything. He sets up in the movie, he sets up this gunfight, these duels that are to take place over the course of 2 days. And how he sets it up is, I mean, he's like, look, I have $123,000. Boom, y'all can fight for it. But he throws himself in because it's like, look, I know I'm the quickest, and I'll take everybody out, and the money will still be his. That's how he plays. That's how he is. That's his character, and he plays it so well and so convincingly. You're like, geez, man, you're a terrible, you're an awful guy, really awful guy. Sharon Stone, her performance was it was very quiet, very subtle, but also very strong at the same time. Like you knew she was a badass. You knew she was not one to be trifled with. But you definitely felt her presence, even though she didn't say much. Her story is more so focused on her recovering and avenging the loss of her father and trying to come to terms with that trauma that she experienced all those years ago. And as you can probably infer, she's going after Gene Hackman. I won't tell you. You go check this out for yourself. Russell Crowe plays a priest in this, and he's a guy that used to be an outlaw, actually. And his whole motive is, look, I've changed my life. I want nothing to do with this anymore because Gene actually, I'm sorry, Gene's character was Mayor. What's his name? Let's pull it up. It's on the. It's right here. What's his name? Forgive me. I think it's Herod. Yes, forgive me, Herod. So he goes after. I'm sorry. Russell Crowe plays Court. Court's the priest. Herod is Gene. And so Court was an outlaw with Herod at the time, and he said after this life wasn't for him anymore. He decided to turn and become a priest, and I love his performance because he's going through the motions. I love his character in it because he's going through the motions of, well, I sought out forgiveness from God. I want nothing to do with this life anymore. But because of the circumstances and the stakes that he's under, it's almost like, man, you making me turn back to this. But it's not because I want to, it's out of self-defense. Like, yes, I want to live, and I'm not going to let you make a puppet out of me, but I'm not doing this for your gratitude or your enjoyment. That's not what I am. Doesn't that sound familiar? Because a few years later, 5 years later exactly, what does he do? Become Maximus Decimus Meridius and play who? Gladiator. One of the greatest movies ever made. If you haven't seen Gladiator, go check out Gladiator. One of Ridley Scott's finest ever. It's just a perfect movie. Then you have Keith David, who plays a hired gunslinger who's in town to take on Herod. You've got this other guy named Angel, who's pretty much a fraud. He plays like this pretty boy, gets all the girls. They love him. They love his swag. They love the way he shoots. They love his tricks and all. Uh, but he's a fraud. He doesn't really do what he says, and Herod's character really plays onto that, which is cool. Leonardo DiCaprio has a role in this where he plays the kid inspired by, I'm pretty sure, Billy the Kid, hotshot gunslinger. He's like, look, I'm the fastest hand in the West. Nobody can take me. I mean, come on. Can you see that? He knows how to work a crowd. He knows how to hype them up. He would be very good at being in the WWE, to be honest with you. He would understand it for sure. He knows how to, he knew how to work the crowd. There's this woman he was like consistently after every time he murked somebody after the fight. I mean, he's just all in her throat. It's ridiculous. Like, golly, guy. But yes, the whole story overall and the characters that are involved, they really push the narrative forward. And so I love the direction in that. I love the dialogue. It's not like my favorite western, but it's something that I find very entertaining. Not every movie is going to be like a soulfully moving piece. I understand that if it entertains you, then the movie did its job, and you can discern whether or not it's good or bad. I mean, if it was good for you, if it worked for you, then cool. If it was bad and you didn't like it, but you still entertain it, it's like a guilty pleasure of yours, then cool. That's fine. You can have those. And this for me, this is it's not revolutionary, but it's definitely very enjoyable. And if you like westerns, I mean, I think this is something to watch. Raimi's hands are clearly all over it. I love the crossfades that he does. I enjoy some of the music choices and the cues with the sound effects. It was really really good. And I like that the town is called Redemption as well. That's a very good creative choice, simply because of the fact that we know that this story is leading with themes of redemption. Court is trying to redeem himself, because he's like, I've changed my life. And he's still actively, as his life has changed, he's still seeking redemption. The main character, Sharon Stone's character, Ellen, she's seeking that redemption because of, when you watch the movie, you see the twist. Because of what took place in that time in her youth, and she wants to make her father proud and lay his spirit to rest accordingly. And that's the central theme through this: finding the best version of yourself, and it's really well done, very well done. I enjoyed it. I'd have to probably give it, I'd say what 7 out of 10 howls. Yeah, I'd say 7 out of 10 howls. That's what this is. It's good. Go check it out, guys. It's on Netflix currently. Another movie that I'll be doing soon because I watched two westerns this weekend is The Harder They Fall. So I'll talk about that in one of the next videos. You guys stay howling. Remember, one pack, one nation, one smooth howl. Oh, find me on social media at the Outlawed Mime on Twitter and at the Midnight Cinema 41 on Instagram. You can also check me out co-hosting again, as I said before, on the Multiverse of Geekdom channel with Ben Rayner, which is very good for popping off. We'll have episode 3 coming up this week. So stay tuned for that. Also have a Schmodown review show. I was going to do some reactions for the Schmodown because it's my favorite sport behind football. So I will introduce you guys to that if you don't know about it, which would be great. So y'all stay safe out there. The harder they fall will be in one of the next ones. See y'all.